Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. I'm very excited to be here because today I'm going to be talking about the top questions to common live video questions. I said questions twice. Answers to the top live video questions. I'll get it right eventually. So if you've got any questions, then put it in the comments and I'd love to answer that on the show. This is really as a result of last week. I was in London for Janet Murray's Build Your Audience Live event, which was absolutely amazing. Really, really cool. So I'm excited to be here today because I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I was asked at that event by the delegates. But I'd also like to answer some of your questions too. So I'm just checking if everything is working because today I'm going to be recording the podcast, this episode 7, I think we're on now, of the podcast. Just give me 1 second. Great, excellent. So, yes, we've got Tish here. Hi, Tish. Is anyone here? Yes, I am here. Just sorry for the delay, but I am here now. And I'm just going to go live on LinkedIn as well. So, just give me a second. Hello! So we're now live on LinkedIn. This is the Confident Live Marketing Show. This is episode 7. And in today's show, I'm going to be sharing my answers to the top live video questions that people ask. Lots and lots of questions. So if you've got any thoughts, any questions, then just put it in the comments below and I'd love to help you with that. As I was saying on Facebook just before, I was at Janet Murray's Build Your Audience Live conference and there were so many fantastic comments there. So if you've not been here before, just to let you know, I'm going to be recording the podcast, today's podcast episode. So please leave some comments, but I won't necessarily be able to answer all of those until the end. But we'll see how we get on. Hopefully I will be able to do that. So let's see. Looks good. Okay, let's do this. Let's go and record the podcast. Looks like it's working. So I've got Audition open there. Hi, Ross. Ross Brand is watching. Now, I'm not sure whether this is working right. I don't know whether you can see me on LinkedIn. I'm having a few issues with this. But if you can let me know whether the audio and the sound is working on LinkedIn, because I'm just to let you know, I'm broadcasting in Ecamm Live to Facebook, and I'm also broadcasting in Wirecast to LinkedIn Live. I don't think it's the perfect setup yet, but we'll see how we get on with that. Okay. So I think I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording. Great. Okay. Right, I will see you just after this.
This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello, it's the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. My name is Ian Anderson Gray. I'm so excited that you've tuned in and we're broadcasting this on Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live. It's very exciting. So, but first of all, I've got to mention my friends at Content 10X. This podcast is sponsored by Content 10X, they are the repurposing experts. They will take your live video shows and will explode it across the internet, across your blogs and your social media, just by repurposing that content. So once you've got the tech sorted, once you know what you're talking about, it's actually really, really easy to go live. It's very, very simple. You just press the go live button and you're creating this content. That's what I'm doing today. But at the end of it, you've got a piece of content that Content 10x can then repurpose into blog posts, into social media posts, into podcasts, and you don't need to do anything. So I thank you so much for Content 10x's support of this podcast and live show. I really, really appreciate you guys. Just go to content10x.com to find out more information about that. So today I'm going to be talking about answers to the top live video questions that people ask. I was at Janet Murray's event in London last week. This was the Build Your Audience live event. And I got some really, really cool questions from the delegates there. And I wanted to share some of those questions on the show. But also, if there's anyone watching live at the moment, then please let me know your thoughts, your questions as well. Unfortunately, LinkedIn Live is not working. So we're just going live to Facebook at the moment. But hopefully, I'll sort that out soon. So, the first question that I was asked last week was, well, one of the questions that kind of took me by surprise, and it was a really, really good question. And that is, what is live video? What is Facebook Live? Now, if you're listening to this podcast or watching this live show, I'm going to assume that you know what that is, but maybe that is a big assumption. And I think I make these assumptions a lot, that people know all the stuff that I know. But I think it's a really good question to ask, because I think we should all be asking, what is live video and how can we make best use of it? So Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, these are all types of live video streaming features or platforms out there. And when I say live video, when I say live video, I think of Facebook Live. It is a way for you to broadcast your video and your audio to your audience on Facebook. So if you're going live on your Facebook profile, then you can stream your video and what you're saying to all your friends on connections on Facebook. Or if you're going live to your page, all your connections can see and hear you and also interact with you. And that's the really important thing here, because it's not just you being a one-way communication machine. It's also a way that your audience can ask you questions and get involved as well. So there are many different platforms out there. There's Facebook Live, there's Instagram Live, which is from your smartphone only at the moment. So Instagram Live is, as I say, mobile only at the moment, but also it doesn't stay there forever. It only lasts for 24 hours. So this is a great way to create live video quickly and easily, and also for it to be a bit more raw and authentic. So it doesn't last for very long. So you can think about how you could use Instagram Live videos in a different way. I use these for more kind of off the cuff, or just when I'm out and about and I'm thinking about wanting to share different ideas or thoughts, or just actually to talk about what I've been talking about on my podcast, to promote that as well, just after it is launched on a Friday. So that's Instagram Live. And then there's YouTube Live as well. So that's a great platform to use if your audience is mainly using YouTube. And that works in a very similar way to Facebook. And then there are plenty of other ones. There's Twitch. I could go on. There's Periscope, Twitter Live, loads and loads of different platforms out there that you could think about. So that is live video. And I think it's a great question to ask. What is it? Because you may know the answer. You may know what it is, but actually, how do you explain it? How do you define it to people who don't know? So that was one of the questions. What is live video? Another question is, this is a bit more of a technical question that I got asked, which is, how do I use more than one camera in my live videos? How do I use more than one camera in my live video? Now, if you are going live from your smartphone, obviously it's only got one camera. So how on earth do you have different camera angles? If you wanted, for example, if you had you were interviewing people and you wanted to switch the camera to between you and maybe your guest or maybe somebody else in your office or room or wherever you are. So there are loads of different ways of doing this. If you've got a guest and they're not here in your office or your place, you could always bring them in remotely. So you could use a service like BeLive or StreamYard, and they just have their webcam on their computer, and you bring them into your show that way. So you can interview your guests that way. Or you can actually do this directly through your smartphone using Facebook. You can just bring in your guest that way. But the question wasn't really referring to bringing in a guest. The question was bringing in different camera angles. How do you do that? So there are a number of different ways. Probably the easiest way is just to get lots of different webcams. So you could get one or two webcams that you plug into your computer and then switch between the different webcams. So probably the easiest tool to use for this would be Ecamm Live, which is available for Mac. You just plug different webcams in. So you could use your integrated webcam on your laptop, which I've got. In fact, if I just switch now, you'll be able to see I can switch cameras. If you're watching this live, I'm switching between my different cameras very simply. So if I plugged my other webcams in, I've got a couple of other webcams, I'd be able to put them around my room and switch camera angles very easily using Ecamm Live. And it's the same with other tools like OBS Studio and Wirecast. They all allow you to plug in multiple cameras and be able to switch between those very, very easily. Some of the more simple tools out there that I've been recommending in the past, such as BeLive and StreamYard, traditionally haven't given you that ability. Certainly at the moment with StreamYard, you can't switch cameras. But a new feature with BeLive, which I haven't had the chance to test yet, I don't think it's actually been rolled out to my account yet, with the new Studio, this is Studio version 2 for BeLive, you can switch camera angles, which is really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that, because I've been looking for a simple solution for people who are just starting out on live video. And I hope that StreamYard also adds this facility later on. So great point here from Bruce Kraft Jr. And he's just mentioned Switcher Studio, which is what I'm going to be talking about next. So Switcher Studio also allows you to use multiple cameras, but it does this in a slightly different way to the other tools I've been mentioning so far. So Switcher Studio is a mobile video studio. It uses your iPads and it uses your iPhones to create a live video studio. So what you can do here is, if you've got an iPad, a modern iPad, so not like an old iPad 3 like I've got, make sure you've got a recent iPad or iPhone, and you can then put your iPhones on tripods around and use those cameras and switch between them. So what I would recommend here is, if you've got an iPad, install Switcher Studio onto there, and then put your iPhones on tripods around you, and then you can switch between those cameras from your iPad. It's such a cool tool here. So this is Switcher Studio. It's not free. It's got a bit of a price tag attached to it, but it is such a powerful tool. And I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago in one of our episodes on live video studio tools. So Switcher Studio is really cool. And also Bruce mentions ManyCam. So ManyCam I have not tried for a while. So Bruce, if you're still in the chat, let me know a little bit more about that. But that he's saying there are no monthly fees. Last time I checked with ManyCam, it was a one-off fee. Now, I think from my recollection, the way this works is you can put multiple webcams, plug them into your computer, and even if a tool such as StreamYard doesn't give you the ability to have lots of different webcams, you can switch those from ManyCam and be able to then use multiple cameras that way. So that's ManyCam, and there are a few other platforms out there, other tools such as SparkoCam for PC as well. So yeah, that's really cool. So that was a question about using more than one camera in your live videos. Another common question that people are asking is, I'm too scared to go live. What do I do? So there was one person I was speaking to who'd wanted to go live for ages. They'd been speaking on stages in front of hundreds of people, no problem. But when it came to live video, there was a bit of a difference, a bit of a problem, because this camera in front of them, or this phone in front of them, and the fact that they weren't able to see their audience just paralyzed them from going live. And so, and I worked with lots of other people during the event in helping them overcome their fears or talk about what those problems were. So I think, first of all, you need to kind of think, well, what is actually stopping you from going live? And we've talked about that in previous weeks. Is it that you are comparing yourself to other people out there? Are you comparing yourself with other people who've been doing live video for years and years and years? Or are you trying to be perfect? Are you trying to get everything so perfect so that your words will come out articulately, that you won't go and or your background is amazing, your camera is amazing? Or what is it? What is it that's actually holding you back? And so there are a number of ways that I would start with going live. So first of all, I would use something like Instagram Stories. Just go to Instagram Stories and share videos every single day. They're only 15 seconds long. They only last for 24 hours. So what's the worst that's going to happen? That's a very, very simple way of becoming more confident and consistent using video. The other way is to just go live with your voice, go live with audio. So there's actually Periscope audio. This is on Twitter. You don't have to share your video. It's just your voice. Or if you've got an Android phone, you can use Facebook Live audio. So unfortunately, it's not available on iPhone, but if you go to your profile, click on live video, click on the three dots on the top right of your screen, you should have the option to to select live audio. And that would be a great way, because most of us are afraid of showing our faces. If we just go live with our voice, it's less of an issue. So try that. But you know what my top tip really is in getting over the fear of going live? And that's to go live with somebody else there. Ideally, somebody present with you in your room. And this is what I did at the event last week. A number of people really struggled with it. So I just said, well, do you want to go live together? So I helped them put the post together on their phone for the live video. I got them to press the live button, and then I asked them questions. I introduced them to the live video, and I asked them questions. And that is a really, really easy way to go live. So you don't need to worry about looking like an idiot, because it's just a conversation with somebody else. I think we all engage in conversations every single day. So I think you can do that in front of the camera. The problem is that the more difficult thing is doing what I'm doing at the moment, and that is just doing a live video on your own. So try it that way. We've got Martin is here. In fact, I'm hoping to get Martin on the show to talk about this. So Martin was on the show last week. Was not on the show. He did his first live video on Friday last week and did an amazing job. So this was just basically me interviewing him and asking him questions. And now there is nothing stopping Martin. He is going live every single day. So check out Martin's profile. And Martin, if you maybe put a link to some of your videos, that would be great so people can see. So Tish is also watching live on the show. So let me know if you've had an experience with this. Have you gone live? Is this something what's stopping you with it? Or is this something that you feel very confident with? I'd love to hear from people who are watching at the moment. Let me know what you're struggling with when it comes to this. But I think don't try and cope alone. Try and do it with somebody else. Have an interview with somebody else, bring somebody else on the show. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of episodes. Actually, I'm going to be doing some guest shows. So it's far less scary to do it that way. So yes, hopefully that's helpful to you. Also, all the warm-up exercises that I shared a couple of episodes ago as well are really helpful. So just warming up your voice, having a bit of fun, singing a few little silly songs and tongue twisters, making sure that your body is nice and relaxed are really, really helpful and will help you with your confidence. Making sure that the tech is working as well, putting together a checklist of all the tech so it's all working before you go live is going to take a lot of stress off you, and knowing what you're going to say. So I shared some of this in the last episode. This is the 5 P's of live video. Make sure that you've planned out what you're going to say, and you've got 3 or 4 points in front of you. You know what the first things you're going to say, the last things you're going to say, and also the main content as well, which is really, really important. So that is all about if you're too scared to go live, what should you do? And the answer to the question is, don't try and do it alone. Try and go live with other people first, and plan as well. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Martin's lives the rest of the day. He's going to go live from Denver Airport later. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And Tish also says, this is a big struggle for me, and have only gone live twice or so in the last 2 or so years. I have issues with myself and will have to get over it in baby steps. Long story. Do you know what, Tish? You're not alone. And I think I've shared some of my issues over the past. It kind of reminds me, if I go back 5 years when Google Hangouts was a thing. I don't know if anyone remembers Google Hangouts on air, but this was before Facebook Live and YouTube Live. This was a way that you could broadcast live with up to 9 other people. And I remember being asked to go live on this show with some other people, and I was absolutely petrified. In fact, I think the first couple of times I decided not to do it. I actually came up with an excuse. And then eventually I did pluck up the courage, and I was so nervous. Never in a million years would I think that I would be teaching people how to go live with confidence, have a podcast, and go and have a live show about it. So yes, don't feel that you're alone. You can do it. It is baby steps, but don't try it alone. Try and do it with other people. Go live in a Facebook group or go live on your own are the other 2 things which I meant to say earlier as well. So just change the privacy settings to only me. Go live on your profile, or go live in a private group with some other people in a safe place, which is really cool. So going back to the technology, that question that was asked earlier, which was how do I use more than one camera in my live videos? Bruce has got back to me about ManyCam. So I just want to check that I've got the right information here. So he says that with ManyCam, you can stream via mobile and webcams. So that's interesting. So I assume what you mean here, Bruce, is that you can use your phone's camera, maybe your iPhone or your Android camera as a webcam. And there are other tools out there that allow you to do this, which I've played around with, but apparently ManyCam can do this, and you can stream directly from it or have it act as your camera manager. So this is really cool. I have to check this out. Similar to Ecamm, except they still have lifetime deals. You can even apply a picture instead of a video if you don't want to show a live video during a live stream. That's really helpful stuff. So yeah, Ecamm Live is one of my favorite tools out there, but it is you have to pay a monthly fee, whereas with ManyCam, apparently it's one fee that you pay, and it also gives you the ability to stream to get the video from different phones, from your Android or iPhone, and also allows you to put your image there instead of your video. And that's another cool tip. So thanks for reminding me, Bruce. So coming back to the second question, which was, I'm too scared. What do I do? How do I go live? Well, yes, I mentioned using live audio. So either Facebook Live audio or Twitter Live audio. But of course, with Facebook Live or YouTube Live, you don't actually have to show your face. You could share your screen. You could do, like, for example, a how-to live video, and you're just sharing your screen, and you don't have to show your face at all, or just put an image there just to get used to it. No one's going to tell you off for doing that, just to start off with. So another really good tip there. So that brings me on to the third question that I got asked, which is how do I share my screen in my live videos? So I've seen people who want to share how to do something on their computer to their live audience. And what they've done is they've taken their phone and they've just basically they go live from their phone, and using their camera, they take a video of their screen on their computer, and they do it that way. The problem with that is the quality is not that great, and it can be a bit wobbly, and people can't really see what you're sharing, and the quality isn't really that great. So I wouldn't advise doing that. I would take things to the next level and use a tool, a live video streaming tool from your computer. And we've talked about a lot of these in the past. There's BeLive, there's StreamYard, there's Ecamm, there's Wirecast. All of those tools allow you to share your screen onto your live video, and you can basically, whatever you're doing on your computer screen, the people at home watching on Facebook or YouTube will be able to see that too. all the different tools out there have different ways of doing this. BeLive at the moment doesn't have the ability to share your screen on their free plan, but with StreamYard, it does. So if you want to play around with sharing your screen, I would recommend StreamYard to begin with. But BeLive does on their paid plans, and Ecamm Live, of course, does that too. OBS Studio, all of those do that as well. So check that out. It's a really, really easy way to create live videos, and you don't have to show your face either. So any of those tools are really, really good. Okay, another question that I got asked a lot is what camera and microphone do I need? So if you're going live from your phone, from your smartphone, the answer is actually you don't really need anything extra. You can just use the camera and the microphone built into your phone. The quality will be really, really good. But if you want to up the level a little bit, then I would recommend just a smartphone lapel mic, such as the Rode Smart Lav Plus, that plugs directly into your phone and really heightens the quality of the audio a lot more. But the question was really relating to going live from your computer. What should you be looking for in terms of the microphones and cameras? And so what I would always recommend is first of all, don't just use the integrated webcam on your computer because the quality is nowhere near as good. So for example, if you're watching live at the moment, this is my integrated camera, and you can hopefully tell the difference between the two. So if you are on a bit of a budget, then just go for something like the Logitech C920 or the C930. The C930 is a bit more expensive, but the quality is a bit better. This makes such a difference between your integrated webcam and using the Logitech C920 or 930. So I highly recommend those. If you can extend your budget upwards a little bit more, then the Logitech Brio is fantastic. It's a 4K camera. Even if you're not streaming at 4K, which at the moment most platforms aren't 4K, but the quality is so much better. So I highly recommend the Brio. And if you want to go a level up from that, then the Canon M50 it's a mirrorless digital camera, and it is amazing. And the reason I recommend that is because you can plug it directly into your computer. On a Mac, you can use some software like Camera Live, or plug it directly into your computer and use Ecamm Live without any extra software. That is really good. And also it works on PCs as well. There are some extra software that you need to use. And I'm going to bring in Jeff C to talk all about that because he's been getting some amazing an amazing setup with using that on his PC and his Mac as well. So at the M50 is a bit more expensive. It's around £500-600 or dollars, but you can plug that directly into your computer and use that like a webcam. It's really, really cool as well. Now, Bruce is giving me some really good feedback in the comments, and he also talks about the Brio. I know a lot of people that use the Brio. I think, am I right, Bruce, in saying that you have two of these? So he says, as well as it being 4K, the big advantage, or one big advantage, is that the Brio also gives you 60 frames per second for 1080p. Now, that might be a little bit too technical, or you think, what on earth am I talking about there? 1080p is another way of saying full high definition. So it's really good quality video. Facebook Live is starting to roll out high definition for live video, and YouTube Live also does that. So it's really good that we can get it in that quality. 60 frames per second basically just means that it's less jerky, that the frames are much quicker per second, so the quality is a lot better. If your computer can handle that, then you do get that. But also, you can do 4K too, which is cool. So there we go. So yes, I definitely recommend all of those. The Logitech cameras, or there is so that's either the C920, the C930, or the Brio, or the Canon M50. There are plenty of other ones out there as well, but I particularly like the Logitech. Now, Tish says, so she agrees, Logitech is the best. If I were to do that, I would just use the cam on my MacBook, but definitely Logitech. So don't use these as an excuse not to go live. All you need is either your computer or your phone. And if you don't have any extra cameras or any extra microphones, then don't use these as an excuse not to go live. Just use the camera built into your laptop, because ultimately the most important thing is you sharing your knowledge, your expertise, your personality with your audience. And it doesn't matter if you're going to just use your basic built-in camera. In fact, that's what I did for the first few live videos that I did. Now, the Logitech C920 is not that expensive. That's actually quite an old camera now, but you can find some deals out there. So that's why I do recommend the C920 if your budget is not that high. Now, the next thing that's really important is your audio, your microphone. Again, you don't need anything fancy here. You could just use the audio through your computer, but if you can pay a little bit more money, then I highly recommend getting an external microphone, because that will really help the audio quality of your live videos. And again, you don't have to spend too much money here. I'd love to hear from people who are watching this what microphones they use, but the microphones that I recommend are the Samson Q2U, and this is a USB microphone. Really good quality. It's not too expensive. It also has an XLR input as well. So if you're an XLR output as well. So if you're wanting to take things to the next level later and use like a mixer, then you can do that. But the Samson Q2U is a really good microphone, very, very good quality, and it's highly recommended by some podcast expert friends of mine. So that's a really good one. Or it's a bit more expensive, but it is the Blue Yeti microphone, the Blue Yeti USB microphone. It's around $80, $90, $100 or pounds. It's USB only unless you buy the Pro version of this, but it's a really, really nice microphone. As long as you set it up correctly, you've got to make sure that it's fairly close to you, that you set it to the cardioid setting. That's important. And you put the gain down because it's quite sensitive. And if you've got some background noise going on, it will pick that up. So highly recommend those microphones. There are loads of others. I happen to be using the Heil PR40 microphone, but you don't need that. That's a more of a high-end microphone. And you do need some extra gear, such as a mixer or an audio interface with that, which is really cool. So Bruce says, yes, he has 2 Brios, makes live streams run like a production studio. I'm very jealous of you. But this is actually one thing that I'm going to be sharing over the next few months, actually, is starting off with a very simple setup, just with a microphone and one C920 microphone. And then over time, I'm going to be getting some extra gear. And I want to share my live video journey with you guys. I'd love to try the Brio. And I'd also love to try the M50 as well. So, yeah, in the comments, Bruce, if you wouldn't mind just maybe sharing some of your recent live videos, just to give people an idea. And I'll also be putting that in the show notes as well. So don't make things overly complicated. You can bootstrap your live video studio slowly over time. Just start with the simple stuff. Don't use that as an excuse not to go live. So, yeah, so I think that's it for this week. They are going to be sharing some more answers to some common questions in the future. But those are some answers today. And I'm looking forward to bringing on some guests next time. So remember to go and find content10x.com. Again, thank you so much, Amy and the team at Content10x for sponsoring this podcast and this show. I will be with you shortly, maybe in a couple of days for another live show. The podcast goes live every Friday morning. So if you go to iag.me/podcast, you can subscribe to it. And I would love it if you could leave a review. That would be absolutely amazing. But until next time, I hope that you can level up your impact, authority, and profits using live video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.
There we go. Couldn't get the button to work. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching and for getting involved with the show. I've just finished recording the podcast. Just need to press the button there. So just a few things just to mention. Just a few frustrations that I've had. So, for example, at the moment, the Wirecast is not working with LinkedIn Live. For some reason, I'm completely frozen. Yeah, there's something weird going on, so I need to test that out. But that shows you some of the technicalities, some of the problems with live video. So yes, I would love it if you've got any ideas or any thoughts on what I can be sharing in the show. It'd be really good to hear from you guys. But I'm going to go now. I've got a few other things this week that I need to be doing. I'm going to be showing another few shows, hopefully. But I will be with you in a couple of days. So see you soon, everyone. Bye.